Hello YouTube. Alright, everything's kind of a mess. It is like the middle of the night, and you can see I am actually got my car all ripped apart, the house battery system all ripped apart. I don't know if you guys recall, I was having connectivity issues with my battery pack. It wasn't recharging, and I ended up rewiring that whole front section, and then it just magically came back on and was working. Well, it kept going out again, so then that told me the wiring was somewhere wrong here. You can see it is a mess here, but I got it to work sometimes, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, which meant an intermittent problem, which meant probably a loose wire or a broken connection somewhere. Well, I got out here after work today and saw that my battery pack was down to 12 volts or less, which means it wouldn't even it wouldn't make it through the night running a fan, which would mean it's kind of a cool night, so I could probably have slept without a fan, but I don't want to be without power, because I need to make sure I can have my phone charged, I can run my fans, I can do everything I need to do, like run the TV if I want to, hook up my computer to work. It became an issue. So I started messing around back here and then realized a whole bunch of connections were all broken, because you can see everything's just kind of clamped together. But basically these little assembly thingy that I had hooked up before were broken. So like wires were coming out. You can see I cut out old ones. So I had to see all the little pieces and stuff. That's from me cutting wire and splicing things. I cut a piece of a spare wire jumper that I had made, and ended up putting it here to hook up to my 12 volt connection. So I have a constant 12 volt with USB output. I also had to make a new connection here to go to the positive, the red, to hook into there. This is what actually charges the batteries. So if you ever wanted to see how the system's hooked up, try to explain it to you, even though it is dark. I know I'm really standing out here because I'm out here at Walmart, and obviously people can see what the heck I'm doing out here. But I got my fuses. I did downgrade the fuse actually. I put a 20 amp fuse in there. I don't know if 20 amps going to be enough. I really need a 25. Maybe I'll swap it. I'll put a 30 amp fuse in there. 30 amp fuse should be enough. But this is my fusible link that's designed to cut off if it starts trying to draw too much power. Like, it'll get really hot and the fuse will melt. But anyhow, that line right there goes to the positive of the vehicle and runs down underneath the vehicle, up this wire here. I don't know if you can see the wire there, to the switch here, which turns the system on. And as you can see, it's off right now. Well, anyhow, it runs to that switch, and from that switch, it runs up to the inverter. And that means I can actually power the inverter without the house battery at all. I can just power it directly off the vehicle battery if I wanted to. But it could pull too much power, and then my vehicle battery could end up being drained completely. And then, then I just killed the vehicle battery. But anyhow, it comes up to here, up to the, this is the wire right here. From the switch, it comes up to the red, which is a positive. And then the negative goes from here to the ground, which is actually a screw or bolt here. See how it's on the floor there? Actually screws to the metal frame. And then you have a complete circuit there. So that's without a house battery. Then to add the house battery, I basically just have an RV battery here, and I run red to red and black to black. What that does is it allows this now, the black, to go to the black here, and the red to go to the red here. If I turn off the switch, well, let me just try to show you. It's going to be easier to visualize. Okay, let's go with the very basic. We just wired the red through the switch to here. We don't have the house battery hooked up, so I'm going to unhook everything here just to show you what it's like. So right now you can see the vehicle battery is not connected at all. The vehicle battery is connected, the house battery is not connected. Just to show you that the system will work without this battery. Okay, so right now the red from the vehicle starter battery runs through the line to the switch, and then comes up to the red here. Then the black runs from here to the ground, which is the vehicle body. So that's our complete circuit. No other batteries here, okay? And if I turn this on, it doesn't want to come on. Why is it not coming on? Oh, it's not coming on because I don't have the switch on. That means the red is not on, okay? Now watch what happens when I flip the switch on. Man, I was like, after all that, and I'm trying to teach you guys here and show you what I did. It doesn't want to work. It doesn't work because our switch is off. That means the red here is not connected to anything. So when I switch the switch on, you hear the inverter kicks on. So everything's working like it should be. I don't know if you understood what just happened there, but I'm going to try to explain. It says 13.6. That's how much power is running through the system right now. My air conditioning here leaking. The alternator right over here, this little silver thing here, is generating about 13, 14 volts almost, and sending it to the vehicle battery to charge it up. Then it's sending excess battery power through here, through our, I put a fusible link there to melt if it gets too hot, like a short circuit. And it comes here to our switch. And our switch is what will connect this system to this system. The reason it didn't come on before was we had the switch on off. So there's a cut here, and there was no power coming to this. So you can see right now, I can actually cook with the system as is right now. I don't need a house battery system. I can drive around and cook just like this. And it should be okay because this inverter, as long as the power is like above 11.9, 11.8, it'll keep working. But when it drops below 11.8, it goes and it shuts off. Okay? So this is a very basic system if you only have enough money for an inverter and maybe some wires. You don't have a house battery, which is going to be about another $100 or so. And this will allow you to drive around and cook and run stuff. The problem you're going to have is the battery pack. If you leave this switch on all night so that you can run this inverter and the USB, that plug that's here so you can charge your phones and stuff, you could drain your vehicle battery all the way down and then your car won't start. Okay? So what we're doing now, to make it a little bit more complicated, we're adding a house battery. And I don't have a solar panel or anything. As you can see, there's nothing to charge the system up. The only thing that I can use really to charge it up is the alternator. So we're going to take the power that comes here, which runs straight to the inverter, and we're going to divert it. We're going to take our red here, cable, and plug it in. I'm going to shut everything off because I don't want to connect anything. I'm disconnecting everything for now just to show you how it all works. Because you don't want to have too many things on because electronics could end up getting fried. Anyhow, I just take a red cable here. You see how it has a red cable tip and it has alligator clip here and the other end goes there. So that's it, just a cable that I made. Okay, and they sell these little alligator things in Walmart as well as other automotive sections of like AutoZone and stuff like that. So I'm going to plug that there, and it doesn't spark yet because there's no connection. There's no complete circuit. So the red is going to the red, and then I have a black one. So this is a black alligator clip, which probably could be replaced here soon, but it's got a round tip that goes in here that it's screwed in, so it makes contact with the black. The red makes contact with the red. But now the alligator clip, see how it's clipped to nothing right now? I'm going to clip it directly to the black on here, and it's going to spark when I plug it together. See that spark? It means I have a complete circuit right now. So now power to the inverter can come from this battery or from that battery or from both of them when they're tied together. So right now our switch is off. You're going to notice the switch is off. That means the power from the vehicle, the starter battery, is not doing anything right now. It's cut off right here. The switch is cut off. But when I turn the inverter on, see, it comes on. And you're like, well, how's it coming on? Well, it's coming on, and it says 12.1 volts. I don't know if it's picking it up. It says 12.1 volts. That's really low. And the reason it's really low is it's coming from my house battery right now, which is at 12.1, which is really low. And the reason it's really low is I was cooking earlier. And, I was cooking some rice and chicken. and I used up all the power. And then when I came here to park at Walmart tonight, I decided to turn on the inverter and check the charge, and it was low. And I was like, it should be high because I've been driving with it, you know, connected and charging. But the reason it wasn't high is there was a broken connection here on one of these little round eyelet clips. Actually, one or two of them. You can see I had to replace a whole bunch of stuff. But anyhow, it says 12.1 because this is the charge of my vehicle battery. I mean, my house battery, which means it's at 12 volts, which is okay, but it really is going to drain. Like if I ran this all night, my fan would probably run all night and it might kill the battery. It'll drain it down below 12 volts. It's 12.1, so it's slightly over 12 volts. But watch what happens now when I flip the switch on. Okay, it's turned on now, which means that battery right there, the power that's coming from the alternator is coming through here and now coming up through the inverter. And look, it says 12.5, 12.6. I'm like, whoa, it went up. Why didn't it say 13 or whatever like it did before? Well, it actually is 13, but what's happening is the power is coming and going to here, and some of it, we can get that reading here, some of it is being diverted down into this battery to charge it up. And that's what's charging my battery, and that's how I charge my house battery system. So you're like, well, why does it say 13? Well, the power is being diverted. I'm going to show you that 13 is still what's coming in by unhooking this. So when I unhook this negative from this battery, it's going to stop charging this battery. So I'm going to unplug it right now and watch the power go up. See, it jumped back up to 13.5. 13.4, 13.5 is how many, 13.6 is how many volts is coming through the wiring. So 13 volts is coming into the inverter. But when I plug it in to my house battery, like I'm getting ready to plug it in here, you can see it spark again. Okay, it didn't spark that time, which is good. But you see this jumped back down. Now it says 12.3. I hope I didn't blow my fuse. It says 12.3, which to me it seems kind of low, unless it's just charging up. It was 12.1 before, so let's flip it off and see what happens. Let me see if you guys can see the reading here. It says 12.3. I just disconnected it. Okay, it dropped back down to 12.2. Okay, which means that's what the battery charges. I'm going to flip it on again. And it's not doing anything. Which means we're not getting a complete circuit. Something is wrong. I wonder if this thing's broken. See, I have all these bad connections. I really need to rewire everything. So the way to test this is actually to unplug. I'm going to unplug this and this. And I can see that it says 12.23 is what it's saying, which is now it's going up 12.5, 12.6. It should be saying 13. If it's not saying 13, I'm losing power somehow. Let me turn that off. Maybe it was like messing up somehow. So I turned the switch off, which means the power from the vehicle battery is off. Now I'm going to turn it on, and the inverter should come on. It should say 13 something. Yeah, see 13.4, 13.5. So that's how much the inverter is actually sending back here. But when I hook it up to these other batteries, it starts to charge. It starts to charge the house battery. So it's pulling electricity from my alternator as well as my starter battery, and that's why it was dropping down so low. So it won't say 13.4 when I finish it. So I'm going to unplug everything now just to reset all the electronics, all the meters and everything. And I'm going to plug this guy. Well, I'm going to unplug this too. Not unplug, but turn it off so it's disconnected. Now I'm going to plug this in. Okay, this is our positive. Okay, and I'm going to plug in our negative, and this is our negative. A little spark there. We just completed a circuit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is try turning everything back on again. Okay, so right now, power is coming, but cut off over here. When I turn it on, this gives us the reading of the vehicle's house battery. Let's take a look. Okay, and the house battery says it is at 12.2, which is very low. Now, in charge mode, I have to turn this guy on to connect the battery and have my vehicle engine running. So when I hit the switch on, electricity should be flowing through and charging. Still says 12.2. Why is it not going up? Something is wrong. I'm having weird issues. I don't know why it's doing this, other than I have some loose connections or something. Because it should be saying 13 something right now, and it's not. So let me pause this video and figure out what the heck is going on. Alright, in trying to diagnose this, I've double checked everything from the fuse. I've replaced the fuse with a 40 amp fuse. Unless I have a bad connection on this end right here now. I really need to rewire everything and probably do this in today when I'm not so tired either. But basically I have the wire here, the connection is on, and yet the inverter's not coming on, which means power's not getting through. So somehow my wire here is loose or broken. So I'm gonna have to rehook everything back up again and see what the heck is going on. But you can see some of the issues you deal with. You know, you're dealing with it out here in real time, in the real world, when you're trying to go to sleep. It's like the middle of the night and I'm dealing with electrical issues. So what I'm gonna do is turn this off for now and unplug everything again and try to run my positive to the positive and the negative to the negative and see why the heck it's not making a connection. Because somewhere along the line, one of these connections is bad. It's not touching, metal's not touching, or it's broken, like maybe right there. But that one shouldn't do anything. That's going to the red here. So we're going to simplify it and go back to just the inverter on the vehicle battery, because that's the very basic level, except for the switch there, which complicates things. Or my switch is bad. You know, there's all these possibilities. But we're going to go ahead and try to simplify it and see if we can't detect what the heck is going on. Alright, I've unplugged everything other than, I've unplugged the red, the positives. The only red that is connected right now, I know it's hard to see. Did you see that? That came loose. See, I'm probably going to have to do this during the daytime and solder everything. You know, when you solder it, it'll make sure it sticks. Because just me clamping it, all I'm doing is just clamping everything. And you can see how good the clamping's working. It's not. It's falling apart. So there's a chance that my connection there could be loose, and that could be what's causing the problem. So I'm going to fix this here in a minute. But for now, you know, this wire doesn't go anywhere. It's just to the alligator clip, which doesn't work. But I have the red right here, which is coming from the switch right here. And black, everything is hooked up, okay, on black. But when I switch this on, you can see it's coming on, even though it's not hooked up to the house battery. So this is coming on from the vehicle battery, and I'm getting 13.5, 13.6, which is what's expected. Now, if I hook up this, it should still work. But let me shut that off. Turn this off. I don't want to get electrocuted. And what I'm going to do is wire this back up. Okay, but see, I got to make sure it's making the metal contact. Maybe it wasn't making metal to metal contact. Because see, this thing's kind of big. But I'm going to try it like this. And when I do this, it'll give me 12 volt access. But making sure that it still is working. So I'm basically trying to screw this on, but see how it's got to make contact with both of them and press them in. Now at this point, okay, at this point when I turn it on, it still doesn't come on because this is off. But when I turn this on, it should come on, as well as, see that little red light down there? That means the DC 12 volt can work all night. But it's working off the vehicle battery, not the house battery. So now what I have to do is try to hook the house battery back up. And that's where we're having issues, is I'm trying to get the house battery to charge, but I have a crappy connection. So I have to make a new wire, one of these jumpers for the negative, as well as the red one. And the real way to do it is to do some soldering and stuff, or to buy a clip-on or something, you know, that's better than what I'm making. But I'm going to try to make this again, and we'll see what happens. Alright, I tried clamping this thing back on again and bending the wire. What I may try to do tomorrow, if I can find my soldering iron, is put some solder on it so it'll be a better connection. But we're going to try to clamp this back in here again and then double check all that connection. Like right now you can see the I got this off right now. When I'm going to turn it on, it doesn't come on because this is off. But when I turn it on, it still doesn't come on. What the heck is going on? This is on. It's like the connection's not there. This is really puzzling me. It should have come on, and it did not come on, which means there's like a bad connection or something. See, look, this is off, now this is on, which means this should be on, and it should come on, and it's not coming on. Oh boy. Okay, after taking everything apart, reassembling, taking it apart, I still can't get it to work. And the reason I can't get it to work is I think my positive, there's something wrong. Either the cabling is bad, my fuses connection is bad, or the switch here is bad, or the connection from there to here is bad. So it is late at night. I am tired. It's been a very long day. I pulled like a 14-hour, 15-hour work day, and I am exhausted. And then on top of that, this is not working. So I'm going to call it a night because I got to see my kids tomorrow. And we just won't have power. I have enough power here to keep my phone and stuff charged all night. I may or may not run the fan. I probably won't run the fan. It is kind of cool tonight, so I probably won't run a fan. But I have enough electricity to keep my phone charged off the house battery. Because right now that's what's powering it, is the house battery. This thing isn't doing crap. Let's try turning it on here. See, it's not doing anything. The switch is not doing anything. So I go ahead and turn it off, but where power's coming from is actually from the house battery right now. And it's not charging up. That's what the problem is. So I have to rewire the charging system because it's not charging. So stay tuned.